Let's see, we are live. Right, let me check over here. See how this is going over here. Hopefully. Let's see if we're in. Hey, Steph. Thanks for being here. Hi. Wait. Oh, all right. We've got some feedback. Let me see. How do I? Let's do it this way. See if this is better. There we go. And let's watch the live stream from the computer instead. There we go. Hi, everybody that's coming in. Still working on these kinks. So still learning all the technology stuff. Hi, Ingrid. Hi, Priscilla and Cheryl. Oh, hi, Pat Bill. Oh, still waiting for your second month. Well, I'm so glad that you're here. Hi, welcome. Let's see. Hi, Christine. Stephanie's here. Tessa. I like the name Tessa. It's a beautiful name. Not that everybody's name is beautiful, but I don't know. I like Tessa. I always have. Hi, Beverly. Yes, let's get her done. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share both screens. This is one kink that I'm still working to figure out, and I may need to. So this screen that you can see this in is on my iPhone, and when I first start, it's in landscape and it looks really cool, and like you can see my machine, and I would be able to show my stitching while I'm doing all of the stuff. As soon as I go live, it flips to portrait mode out of landscape mode. Weird stuff. Hi, Shelly. Yeah, I'm bummed that so many folks are still waiting on their month 2, but I'm excited that I'll be able to get the video done for you so that you'll have something to come back and look at. So welcome aboard. Definitely excited to have you guys here. I'm going to pull everything out. I'm going to make this camera, let's see, let's do this. Make this guy the main for just a second. Oh, sorry, my drink's in the way and you can see my computer, blah, blah, whatever. It's your first FPP. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Got to make really good friends with Jack. But as you go, you're going to find that you're just a complete champ. And Jack will make fewer and fewer appearances. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. I apologize for the noise of the plastic, but I like to not open it until we're all together so that I'm checking it all out at the same time. For those of you that were here I think it was just 2 weeks ago, because of getting the first clue out, it's just worked out that we're sewing really close together, month 1 and month 2. It'll kind of even out to actually once a month now that we're into it. But I like to open it, just like I did with month 1, open it all together so we can all see everything. So I don't know that it's sharing that second screen. let me see. Can you guys see the second screen? Or are we going to be going blind? You should be. Oh, you can see my hands right now. Okay, yay. Okay. In the studio, I'm just seeing the one screen. So it must be weird. Maybe a little bit behind and just being weird. So I can live with that. That's all right. Awesome. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Yep. There we go. Now we got two screens showing up on my side too. Woohoo. Hi, Patty. I know it is tiny. I may end up having to just go in and get like a streaming camera. Like I think Sony has a good one. Let me see if I make it not gallery and make it not letting me pin this one so that it's the one that stays. I don't like that it's teeny. What does turn off center stage do? You guys are my guinea pigs. We're playing around a little bit. No, see, it goes back to just me. It won't switch to the other camera. Interesting. It also doesn't let me spotlight this guy. Jack's always your best friend. All right. Well, some additional fiddling will need to be done. I apologize that it's so tiny. I wonder if no, see, it's still keeping, it's still keeping it in portrait, even when I'm changing the phone's angle. So we'll have to fiddle with that. I very much apologize for it being small. As I'm sewing it up, I'll be sure to show it to the front camera and play with this a little bit. One of these days, I will have the technology down. Now I totally feel everybody's pain who has just started doing this. I feel their pain of as they were going through all of this too. But let's go ahead and get started. So month 2 is another month of fantastically beautiful greens. I'm very, very excited. So of course we get the cover page that tells you you're working with 6 colors over 19 pieces. Hi, Marla. This is what the finished block will look like. And I'll show it up here too. The 4 blocks together will look like this zigzaggy kind of lightning bolt look to it this month, which I like. That's kind of cool. Here is what it looks like on the side that we're sewing. So the sew lines, it will look like that. And if you didn't know, when you're sewing on the lines, what you're actually going to present to the world, the pretty side, is a mirror image of what you're sewing. So this is what it will look like on the finished side. And let's see. So our color layout, lots of awesome greens. This makes me very happy. The list by code. And then our assembly guides. So this month, last month, there was only 1 block that we had to pay really close attention to an assembly guide. This month there are 2. So each month we're adding on to what we learned previous month, which is awesome. It's a nice, like, slow pace of gaining more and more experience on not just piecing on a piece of paper, but then also putting the pieces together. So 2 to do that with and pay attention to today. So I'll put that out here. So I keep it. I'm going to take the cut guides. This month, I'm going to do it. Last month, I cut everything out with you together all, prior to putting the blocks together. This month, I'm going to show you how I live a little dangerously. Which way am I going? This way. And I cut as I go. And it looks like, so fat eighth, a fragment, but one piece on the fragment, fat eighth, fat 16th, but 2 pieces, and fat eighth and fat 16th. Okay. So I feel pretty comfortable with those sheets and doing it kind of as I go, but I will go back and reference them. And then here are the pages we're going to work with and our beautiful colors, all my greens. So let's see, A3, A and B, A4 is a full sheet, B3, A and B, and then B4 is a full sheet rather. So let's see. Going to move the fabric and the rest of the blocks to the side because I'm going to go ahead and get started on A. Oh, Pat, I like that you're doing that. And sorry if your name isn't Pat. I'm just calling you Pat because your screen name is Pat Boo. So I've shortened it to Pat, taken that liberty, and I apologize if that's not actually your name. But I love that you're doing that. That is my recommendation always. I love to have you here and hanging out with me and watching. But no one person does all of the things that have to happen the way that's going to work best for you. So I love that you're broadening your horizons by watching a number of different people doing this. I'm going to head and just kind of rough cut this. I always leave, so this is the 1/4 inch, the dark gray lines is your 1/4 inch seam that you'll be sewing, seam allowance. I always, yeah, I don't know, be weird. I like when you're at a dance, like in the 50s or whatever, where you leave room for Jesus. I'm leaving room for Jesus right there. So if I mess up, I feel like I have extra keeping me safe because I will cut my pieces to cover that extra room. And I just sounded like my grandmother when I said Jesus with the Southern twang. All right, so there's my first one done. And then A3B. Yep. There we go. Yeah, I'm still learning. Everybody, I go and watch how everybody does theirs. And if a new way, raging against the machine. Yes. If a new way that I hadn't thought of or hadn't seen before makes more sense for me, well, then I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to keep learning and growing. All right. So first we need S, A, and KL. So I'm going to come over in my search of my fabrics and grab SA. What I do, what I like about these coming in month blocks is that the pieces aren't ever really that big. So I don't have like, fat quarters flying all over the place. It's always very, very manageable pieces. So let's take a look at SA in the cut guide and just make sure that I'm aware of what we're going to be looking at, because it's definitely 3, but they are 2 of the pieces are my favorite kinds of pieces, the ones with the right angles. I love the pieces with right angles because then you can just line it up on the ends of the fabric. So that second piece that's in the middle there, I am not concerned about getting. Also, some folks are super good and way on top of their stuff and would have ironed this before they did this. I just took it right out of the package. I didn't iron. When I first started doing legit kits, I was trying to become a treat all my fabric person. And I had initially done that. And then I decided that I am not as concerned as I maybe could be. And that I'm just gonna let that go, and I'm gonna work with what I have and not stress about it too much, because I do keep that extra, like the seam allowance plus. I'm not worried about when the wrinkle is getting ironed out, all of a sudden not having enough in one spot. Just not worried about it. For this guy, I think I talked about it last month too, this little corner piece, I'm not that worried about it. I'm just going to cut this piece away all the way around, because the two pieces that are left, I know will fit in what I have here. And this little extra piece isn't going to be a problem. If that concerns you, and if you're very, very new, don't do it this way, because you don't want to end up dissatisfied with what you've done. I would go ahead and take your little, either your 1/4 inch ruler, and go ahead and bring this back. I'll just go ahead and show it on this one. The rest of them you'll see. I'm not gonna take the time to do that. But when you folded it back, because you don't want to cut that piece, remember that you still have to cut at least a 1/4 inch. I suggest a 1/2 inch, especially if you're brand new, away, so that you're you have the enough fabric to sew the next piece onto, because you gotta leave something for it to catch. So I'm gonna go like this. Make sure I come down past at least 1/2 inch, and then back across. All right. Awesome. There's SA taken care of. So I'll leave that right over here. And next up, we're looking for that little triangle for KA. Am I missing any questions? Thank you, Ingrid and Pat and Stephanie, for being, not Patty, sorry, got Pat and Patty, for being here to help talk to folks. You guys are the bomb. So I need KL. What KL is? Oh, key lime. Cool. Still haven't memorized all of them. Now for KL, on this big piece, for that little corner that we need for the block, I'm really not worried about where that layout may be for this little piece. So I'm just gonna lay that out right here. Make sure I've got at least a 1/4 inch coming off the side here. Hold that down. And then I got my extra seam allowance happening, so I'm confident if the piece would stay still. I am confident in that cut right there. There we go. All right, so there are those two. So look at that. Your first half of the block, which is all you need to worry about. So if you're a cut all your fabric at one time person, perfect. Put your fabrics with the pieces of the rectangle that you're going to be working with. And then when you're ready to work with it, this is it. These two pieces for right now are all you have to worry about. You don't have to think about the other half of this block. You don't have to worry about the other 3 blocks we have to put together. You are one with these pieces right here. And those are the only ones you got to worry about. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I think it's important to say we're working with Kona solids. So you don't have to worry about right side, wrong side, which is perfect for beginner. I think it's perfect for everybody. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or not. I like the ease that the solids give me. I don't have to worry about right sides or directional or any of that stuff, I can just go for it. So that's my one side or one piece. Some folks will, with these larger pieces, will pin to hold them in place, which is a perfectly acceptable way to handle that. This is a big piece kind of flopping all over the place. And I do it in the seam allowance because I don't like seeing needle holes in the middle of my fabric. So I'm a weirdo like that. You don't have to be worried about that stuff. But if I'm not gluing, if I'm doing the pinning, this is how I do it. Oh yeah, I bet the fan is not helping right now. Keep any stink bugs away though. That's always a good thing. All right. So for me, when I'm laying my next piece on, what I'll do is I will flip the piece that I'll flip the piece that I'm trying to make sure I'm covering down. And then I will hold it up to a light source, either my big light right here or my back door right there. And then I will make sure the piece I'm using, hold on a second, I need to make sure I have it flipped. There we go. You got to kind of think about it. The piece I'm using is going to cover that entire piece. You can do that when you're first beginning or you're not using too dark of fabrics. Using, whatever light source you have as a light box to make sure you're covering really works. Like this, I can see through the fabric really well, and I know I can line it up. What I will also do is the feel test. I can feel that this piece of fabric, this key lime fabric, it comes down past this paper portion. So I know that that's going to fit when I'm done sewing, and then I flip it up and then it is covering the corner over here, which is my extra seam allowance. Yeah, the stink bugs. All right, so now I know I can flip this up. This is your reminder to roll your needle down so your feed dogs go down, and then slowly pull your needle back up backwards. So don't catch the bobbin. You're just wanting to make your feed dogs lower so that when you slide this under your needle, the feed dogs don't catch one fabric a little weirder and then mess up your seam allowance that you're trying, or your seam allowance that you're trying to sew right now. So that's what I learned through trial and error. I think I saw somebody talk about it because I feel like I am not that brilliant to have thought to figure that out. So I'm going to bet I saw somebody do it. And then I've done it ever since then. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sew this up. And for right now, because this piece, A3 is going to be going together with A3A is going to be going together with A3B. I'm going to keep these pins in. I'm going to leave these so that when we put both of them together, this won't be flip-flopping all over the place and driving me batty. So I need to rethink my plan with the fabrics. Put them back over there. I'm going to, first, I'm going to go ahead and flip this back. Today, I am using an add a quarter ruler. Last week, I just used, I'll try to scooch it over. You know what? I bet you I can move this over some and try to get it in. We'll see how it works. Scoochy, scoochie. Yeah, when it was horizontal, when it was like, you know, staying horizontal, you could see what I was doing. But let's try this out. Let's see if this works. But last week I just used a regular ruler because I want you to use what you have. Somebody else was saying that. Oh, I think it was on a video thing I was watching, actually, a video, like a live stream guy who was watching some hints and tips. And he was like, don't spend lots of money, use what you've got and make it work for you. So if you don't have an add a quarter ruler, last week I used just a regular ruler because even our most regular rulers have quarter inches on them, and you don't have to run out, especially if you're just a beginner, and purchase like specialty things. I do a lot of FPP, so I've got this guy on hand. And so you just bump up the ledge of the add a quarter. You bump it up against your paper. If you're just using your regular ruler, you lay your quarter inch across the edge of the paper, and then you'll have a nice clean edge, which is cleanly a quarter of an inch around. Now I'm going to iron this guy out. Folks that have been here know that I am an avid user of Acorn Easy Press pen, which is a starch alternative that if you starch your fabrics, not with their Easy Press fabric stuff, you might want to do a test run to see if when you iron this on the starch you've already used or the starch alternative you've already used, whatever you use, that it doesn't leave like a hazy, something that would be able to be washed out, but you might be concerned and you might want to know because you may not have any plans of washing what you're putting together. But I use this for everything, for traditional piecing, for paper piecing, all of the piecing. I use the Acorn product. Yeah, it just helps me get my flat seams, which make me very, very happy. Also a specialty thing, not a must-have, not a run out and spend money that you may not have any intention of spending. It's just what I use and was suggested by our friend Stephanie Stitches. All right. So we got a good flat seam there. And let's see, we got a good, is that too close? Oh, there we go. We got a good flat seam there. We've got coverage. I think you can tell coverage over the most of the extra seam allowance that I add to it. I think we're doing pretty good. And just for time's sake, I'll trim it up before we sew it to the next piece, but I'm going to go ahead and get the next piece going. So I'll have SA back. I'll have SA, KW, and Human Resources. All right. Oh yeah. Also, yes, using trimming scissors. Using scissors is also, that is what you have at hand. The seam allowance between the pieces that you're putting on. Some folks even go to 1/8 of an inch, even shorter than the add a quarter. Completely up to you with whatever you're comfortable with. I had started doing the 1/8, using the add a 1/8, but I found that it made the pieces in between a little bit thicker than I was comfortable with, and it ironed weird, and I didn't like it, so I stopped using it. All right, that and KW. Yeah, HR. HR always puts a damper on things, but when HR is actually chartreuse, which is a very good green, I think we're safe. All right, so I think what I'm actually going to do is cut. Well, see it now. I've done it. I've switched things up on myself, and I feel weird. I gotta move my machine back so that I can use my. It's a right angle piece for chartreuse, which always makes me happy. But I've gone and switched things around, so now I'm feeling discombobulated. That's a good word. That's a good SAT word. Let me move the machine back just so I can have some space to cut, and then I'll pull the machine back in when I'm sewing. All right. Chartreuse, the only HR that you want to invite to a party. Let's do her this way. Yeah, there we go. All right. Just like that. And you can use either your add a quarter or just your poster or your insert from whatever box you just got. And hold it back. You're ready to go. Cut this little bit. This little bit. So right here at these sides, I can cut pretty close to the paper. I still leave a little bit extra, but remember on this side, we want at least a 1/4 inch, if not more, closer to a 1/2 inch, to make sure that we have fabric for the next piece to be sewn to. So you don't want to forget that. I did forget that when I was starting, and was very sad because I didn't have anything for the fabric to catch on to. All right, here we go. HR's done, which is piece 1. Then kiwi, so cute. Yeah, the add 1/8 is teeny tiny. And listen, I love me some Juicy Juice. And he's the one who said add 1/8 with his tiny piecing with Allison Glass. That was last year, late last year. But I found with doing these legit kits, doing that doesn't work. It doesn't make sense for me for these. It just got too bulky, and I didn't like the way it laid. Not sure where else you would use an 1/8 of an inch. I know, like sewing garments and even sewing bags, you're going larger than even a 1/4 inch a lot of times. So I'm not sure if FPP is like the only place that you use an 1/8 of an inch. It's the only place I've heard. I will say that. So, all right, there's kiwi. So there's 2 pieces done, and then I'll come back to cut SA, which is sour apple, after I've got these 2 pieces on. Hey, Fallon. Welcome back. All right. And again, I think I'm going to throw some pins in here. If you have just your regular old school glue to throw on the paper and put it together, awesome. That works great. Pinning works awesome. It's Lori Holt, right? That has the pretty little pink topped glue pen. I'm pretty sure that's Lori Holt. I just assume everything like pink and cute is with Lori Holt. But that's a good, cool pen. You can use whatever works for you and helps you keep the work that you're working on straight. I'm using pins because that's what's on my board right now. There we go. Pinned. Then again, we do the flip the piece down. If you have a light box like Pat Boo was talking about, awesome. Throw it up on a light box so that you can really see the paper. You might be able to see. I'm really annoyed with it not being landscape, but you might be able to see this is the triangle we're trying to cover. And you want to, so you can see, like if we put it on this side, that's the triangle we're trying to cut. Even that I would do, yeah, this way. I like this better. Covers the area, covers it all better. So we know that that's the way we want it to lie. I'm going to pull it back over. I know that I've got extra more than 1/4 inch past. So if I'm feeling a little nervous about where it's covering back here, I know that I have that extra. Oh, Sue Daly has the pink top. Oh yeah. I hadn't even thought about Sue Daly. Yeah. Thank you, Ingrid. That's who it is. But again, just using my finger, this is where my seam needs to be. So I need at least 1/4 inch over it. Just feeling it. I can feel that it's past it by a long shot. We're doing good with the way it's laid back here. I've brought it down a little bit from the key lime because I have so much extra of the key lime. I know to feel comfortable for coverage, I can scoot the kiwi down. Was it key lime? No, chartreuse. I can scooch it down a little bit from the chartreuse and feel comfy. So I'm going to flip the paper back up. I'm going to stab myself with my pin, which is why I usually like to use the glue because I hate stabbing myself. And roll it. Roll my feed dogs down. Convince them to stay a little bit lower. Push my needle back. And then get this underneath. Keep all the pieces together. Paper wanted to curl up on me there, but I think we've got it now. All right, now let me pull. Let's see if I can make this work. I may be going to shop some Memorial Day sales tomorrow and see what kind of cameras I can get. All right, let's move this in. You can't really see it this way either. Before the angle was much more where you could actually see the machine. So let me tip it up. Let's do that a little bit. So I start outside the seam allowance, especially when it's going all the way across. I talked a little bit about Juicy Juice. He recommends going into, even when you're having another color, like bringing another color, he recommends going a little bit into where those colors will overlap because it gives you the crispest angle when you iron it back. So that freed me up. I felt a lot better hearing that from him because I was trying to stop right where those none of these do it. But let's say, I don't know. So some of this was crossing. I was trying to stop right, go this way, right at this corner. And because some of these sew lines are thicker to give you, to feel confident and comfortable in what you're sewing, I would find that when I was coming back down for the other piece, I was missing where I had stopped to try to be precise. And then they weren't even meeting up, which drove me bonkers. So when I heard him say, sew a little bit past it and just pull the paper back, and then you'll get a really crisp join, it was gangbusters from there. I was super excited. And that's how I've always done it now, wherever they meet. Oh, I definitely think they're going to do more blocks of the month. This was, it was really popular. They had a bunch of people sign up, even folks that were still on the fence, with people that were still on the fence. We still had a lot of people sign up. And I think it was a really good venture. I'm excited to see what they'll come up with for the second one. I'm also excited to see if they'll keep their blocks of the month ones very, very beginner friendly, or if they'll start like varying the levels, like they vary the levels of their kits. I wonder if they'll start varying the level of experience, recommended experience, because I never really pay too much attention to those. If I like it, I'm going to do it. I don't care. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they come up with. And then I'm off the edge of the paper. I just go ahead and sew all the way off because it was close enough and it's not that big a deal. Yes. Yeah, the monthly send makes it very like palatable. If you get overwhelmed, if you feel overwhelmed by having like the huge kit with you, staring at you, expecting things from you, this monthly kind of soft slide into FTP is a really good way to go. All right, where did I put my add a quarter? There we go. Put it against the paper. There we are. Nice and pretty. Iron it back, and then we'll cut our sour apples. There we go. You would not expect it, but just so you know, even those thin little tiny pins get pretty hot when the iron goes on them. Ow. Oops. All right. Yay. Ready for the next piece. So ready for sour apple. Bring my card up here. Remove this pin so I can pull this back. So see, well, I don't know if you can see. Pain in the tushy. Shirley, hi. I, sew right across here, which is just, it's not a problem, because what I'm going to do now is pull the paper back when I'm getting ready to cut SA. And see, I just slide it back. All good. That's the same way when you're coming together with a bunch of different colors and you've sewn into it so that your corners are nice and crisp. Does not hurt it. All right, now we were going to work sour apple. Let's see. This was the one that was the centerpiece. You want to make sure that this right angle area stays for the next piece, but we can slide this guy in or down here. Oh yeah. I like it when it comes together like this. It just fits right in this corner. Makes me happy. And just pull this stuff back so it's out of the way. Make sure I've got about 1/2 inch. Generous 1/4 of an inch, I feel like. Go. Oh, see you, Pat Boo. Thanks for stopping by. All right, SA, all done with. What I will say is the pre-cutting kept me much more on point with crossing off that I had done it. You'll see I haven't even brought those papers back to cross off that I'd cut them. I mean, I guess because I'm doing it as I go, it's not such a big concern, but it was keeping me honest doing it the other way, making sure I was checking things off as I went. Hold it up into the sun, make sure I'm comfortable with the coverage, which I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Ooh, not that much though. Gotta have some for the seam allowance. There we go. And I'm feeling all the way down to make sure I'm covering that tight angle at the end with my little extra flippy bit there, which is good. And we go through the mantra again. Convince the feed dogs to stay down. And slowly slide the paper. Go. Boom. All right. I don't have my table on. And so I know that the pieces are hanging kind of floppy on the end. So I am going to hold them up a little bit so that they don't shift as it's moving through the machine. But the table takes up too much space. Everybody let me know what your plans are for this holiday weekend. Roll this back, get my add a quarter. And now what I am excited about this month, where we kind of ran out of time last month, is that I will be able to show you how to put these two pieces together. The A3A and A3B I will put together. Let me get this ironed up. Oops, I dropped my acorn, the magic juice. Put these colors back. Yep. Sewing as much as I can too. My son said, hey, you want to go get dinner tonight? So we're going to do that. That'll be fun. hang out with the boy. There, add my magic juice to just the seam. So when I'm doing it on FPP, I fold over the piece so that it's the seam allowance, which is the two pieces together, and then the piece that is the show piece. So it's 3 layers of fabric to make sure that I don't distort the papers any more than I'm already distorting by applying heat by ironing. I'm trying to distort the papers as little as possible. You know, if the paper gets too wet, it'll rip really easily before you want it to be coming out. So I found doing it on the 3 pieces, 3 pieces of fabric eliminates that problem, or it just getting weirdly shaped. All right. So I think even with all of that careful planning, I think I did miss a little bit of this corner, and I'll show you once I trim it, but I'm not going to be upset about it because it's within the seam allowance. So I'm going to let it be. I'm not going to try to rip out the seams or any of that nonsense, because I feel pretty confident that I'll be able to catch it. If it were more than what it is, I would bite the bullet and pull out Jack. But for this little bit that I'll show you in just a sec, I'm not concerned about it. But that just goes to show you, even careful planning, sometimes I think, because I don't have my table on when I'm recording, when I'm doing the live, I think that it shifts the fabric a little bit when it's on the end, even though it's trying to hold it in place. I think that's where that comes in. No, it's just something to be aware of for the next pieces that I do. Okay. Come on now, there we go. Yeah, just something to be aware of. It's not hurting me this time, but if I don't pay attention to it moving forward, it could. So we want to make sure that we're paying attention. Yeah. The seam allowance can and has. I'll see you, Priscilla. Thank you so much for coming by. So happy to see. Priscilla was at the Millersburg retreat this year. Darlene, here for the fun. She was at the Millersburg retreat. We had, and they were 2 first time Millersburg retreaters, and it was just so much fun and so amazing how well they like morphed right into the group. It was so much fun. So here, I'm going to show it here. Do you see that? Oh, golly, you might not even be able to. I know it's there. There's just a little sliver. There we go. Little sliver of paper that you can see past the green. And that's the part of that will absolutely get caught in the 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm not even stressing about that. It actually ended up looking even less daunting after I trimmed everything off. So we're good. Hi, Sheila. Oh, Fallon, right? Like, nobody needs to see the back. Y'all just pay attention to the pretty side and don't ask what happened. Nobody needs to know. All right, we're going to trim up this side too. I'll probably end up repinning so I can show you how to put those two pieces together. But for right now, to get out of the way for me to trim, I'm going to remove the pins. How's it going, Sheila? Mm-hmm. There, and then this one. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to put the pins back up on this because this piece is gonna be the one that gives me fits flopping around when it's time to sew these together. She was also at Millersburg. It's like a Millersburg retreat reunion with far less drama than like Real Housewives or Vanderpump Rules or, you know, any of those other reunions. No scandals. All right. So this one is definitely, I'm going to iron that a little bit because they will be going together now. So iron that up a little bit, make it pretty. There we go. All right. So I'm going to pin these guys within the seam allowance. Since I'm not sewing this top seam allowance right now, I'm going to do that up here. Ooh, Indy 500. Are they still turning left? I'm a goober. All right. Here. I feel like those two might be good. Yeah, those are good. All right, so now we're gonna, maybe I'll do this bottom end too, just to keep it down. No drama, Millersburg. Well, I'm sure there was some kind of drama. I mean, there was the whole, you know, waitress that was freaking everybody out drama. There was that, but no drama between us. All right, so here's one of the sections, and I think we talked about it last month too, where these little cool white lines will, I need to figure out where I need to turn it and head this way. Lord have mercy. So these white lines are going to help us line up against the corner of what we're sewing together. Ooh, churn dash. It's a really popular, fun block to make. Always very pretty. And I always get it and shoe fly. I get the churn dash and the shoe fly confused all the time. But I like them both. There's that. And up to this corner, I'm just pinning to hold them together so that as I'm sewing, nothing's moving around. Oh, Ingrid steered clear of the waitress. Oh, and Marla did too. Yeah. that was to me, it was funnier than it was anything. It gave me a giggle. But then I'm an ornery old lady too, so maybe she and I were just simpatico. All right. Take our time and sew this seam together between the two pieces of A3. I need to change my needle again. I had changed it last week after it started making some clunkety clunk clunk sounds as it was going through paper and fabric. I feel like it's making those noises again. All right, coming up to the pin. Leave it in until the last possible second. Go. Woo, I'm excited. Let's see how I did. Before I remove pins, let's see how I did. Oh, yay. All right, I'm okay with that. I feel like there's a little bit of where the darker green doesn't match precisely, but it's in the close enough area for me to feel very happy about how this turned. Oh, actually, I think it's closer than I was giving myself credit for. Never mind, it turned out really, really well. So here we go. Let's make sure that I've got this part going the same way. And then I'll show you up close. A3A and A3B are put together. And here we go. First block is all done. Of course, I've got to iron it, but I'm not going to take the time to iron it right now because I want to get on to the next one. So I'm going to leave it to be ironed, but I'm happy with that. Everybody, yay! Folks that are following, if you're to this point too, congratulations. I am a slow sewer, so if you're ahead of me, you go, you rock star, you. I will more than likely iron this seam between A3A and A3B. I will iron this open more than likely because like Pat Boo had been talking about, a lot of seams are coming together from the different pieces coming together. So I will probably make that decision to iron it open. On to the next one, which is A4. And this is one of the nice and easy ones because everything is on one page, not two pieces. We don't have to cut anything apart. It's all going to work on this one piece. So we've got sassafras again, this is the last piece of sassafras. So there we go. Kiwi again. Excellent. That's a big old hunk of kiwi. We've got chartreuse coming to the party again, the cool laid back HR of the group. And we're going to bring in LM, which is, funnily enough, lime. So we'll bring lime in for this one as well. All right. So put that there. I'll go ahead and be a very good girl and take a look at, so lime has 3 pieces, but lime is a fat 8. Lime has a lot of fabric in it. I feel good about that. This is Sassafras's last piece of fabric to cut. So we've got A3A and A3B done, and we're about to do A3, A4. All right. Chartreuse is another fat 8, so it's got a lot of good fabric, and we did A3. We're about to do A4. So A3 was down in this corner. A4 is piece 2, so right next to where I cut, recommended, right next to where I cut the first one. We'll see how I do it. Kiwi, so we already did A3B, so we've just got A4 to do. We did key lime with A3-2. And that's it. Those are the colors. Boom, y'all. Oh my gosh, the pancakes. Yes, those were yummy. For sure. The day when we finally all just, I think like so many of us decided, oh, we're just bringing breakfast back into the sewing room. I was living my dream. That was good stuff. All right. So I'm going to do my right angle pieces first. So I'm going to do sour apple because that's the last coming off of this piece. And then I'm going to do lime next because it's also my other right angle. So I'm going to do that. I know because sour apple is a right corner that I'll need to move this. What I think I'm going to do though is take this and hold it over here on my machine, and then just put, because I'm not going to cut this. I'm just going to leave it as is, like this, and then sew kiwi to it, and then cut, trim from there, and then put the sour apple sticker back on what's left. So sour apple looks like it's going to be the closest, but that's because I'm a generous coverer. Did you, Sheila? It was so that I was surprised by how tart that was, and I was not as pleased with the berries and yogurt because it was a shock, such a shock. All right, other right corner for our lime is down here. Gonna pull the card. Oh, you know what? I should look. Where are we on time? Are we doing okay on time? Oh yeah, we've got an hour left. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. The months where we have the 5 blocks, 5 or 6, well, no, 8 block. Is it 8 block? It's like a double month. I can't remember now. Is gonna have to be like either a 2 weekend sew along, like 2 Sundays in a row, or a marathon Sunday where we're together for a while, because that's going to be a lot of blocks to get together. All right. There we go. I'm going to have to use my snips for at the end because it came off the end of the cutting board, but I think we're good to go there. There's lime. So that's piece 4. Just lay that over here. Then I'll do HR. Bring the chartreuse back in. Do that from this right corner. Oh, was chartreuse the one where we're supposed to do it near the one that I did? I cut. I just stuttered there. I think I'm gonna live dangerously and do it a little differently. this go round. All right. There. Oops. Don't move the paper. 8 blocks. Yes. Yeah, that's going to be a marathon sew. Fun though, because I think a lot of things changed from when it was announced to when all the stuff was, you know, finalized and testing and everything. But I think those 8 block months are fun months. I think there might be some of my favorite parts where it's like smaller pieces, which I'm excited about. But they are later in to the sew, so that everybody will be confident by then. You will be very much capable of doing those 8 blocks within a month and not feeling pressed in any way. All right, that's piece 3. And then I love my Franken pieces. And kiwi. Oh, maybe kiwi was one that I was thinking about. Kiwi is a big piece. So let's see what kiwi. So I'm gonna show you. Oh yeah. So we cut piece 1 for A3B out of kiwi from this right corner section down here. And it's a 2-piece fabric. So even though for beginners, I definitely say cut, especially the large pieces, cut those out first. It's 2 pieces on this one, so super confident that I would have been, you know, able to make this fit. And look, we've got options on how we want to put this in here. So pretty cool. I like that this end is pretty almost, you know, straight on. So I'm just going to say that this is my 1/4 inch. Christine said something before I miss it. Let's see. How to drop my son at the airport at 4 this morning. Bye, Christine. Yeah, I would be so ready for a nap. I'm with you. I took a nap yesterday. I didn't really do anything, but went to a quilt shop. Well, I guess that can be nap worthy. Being overwhelmed by all of the fabrics. But let's see. All right. So yeah, this is almost a right angle. So I'm going to make sure that I got my extra covered here, extra covered there. Pull that down. Definitely covered here. All right. Now, the reason why we say cut the large pieces first, and if you're a beginner, definitely recommend always doing that and cutting them first, because then you could like seam together pieces if it didn't work out well. Can you hear they're playing some kind of game on Xbox, so I can just hear the yelling. Yeah, making sure that you have the largest piece cut out first will keep you safe and sane for sure. All right, there's where to put sassafras. That's sassafras, sour apple. I have sour. Oh, I haven't cut sour apple yet. That's right, because I left it up here. So All right, so kiwi is piece 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin that in a spot that makes me happy. We got coverage, coverage, coverage. All right, I'm gonna pin it here. Oh, now I know. I'm also like, oh, I love to take a nap. I couldn't think about, why after yesterday, but Ingrid's a party animal and she made me stay up till almost midnight last night. She's a bad influence. It was all her fault. Just saying. And then, you know how cats and dogs are. Hi, Susan. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. Sorry you had to hear me airing out dirty laundry about my friend Ingrid, who is a very bad influence and kept me up until midnight last night. Oh, just dropped my pieces. Susan, are you a FPPer? Have you started the legit kits block of the month, or have you not ever done FPP before? Are you an old hand at FPP and super confident? Ingrid says it wasn't her. Don't let her sweet face fool you. She is absolutely trouble and an instigator. All right, we're gonna hold it up to the sunlight outside on this side. So these greens are getting dark now, so I'm gonna make sure and remember that this was like the whole piece that was left. So we are well and good covered of where this little triangle needs to be. So super confident we're good on this guy. But we're gonna keep the feed dogs down. Roll the needle back just a smidge. And there we go. This is going to be another. So now that I know that I've got some shifting happening, because I don't have my table on, I'm going to hold even closer to the arm, that where the needle is, so that I don't have any shifting again. Oh, nice deflection. I like that. Yes. Well played, Ingrid. You don't want to make Stephanie Stitches mad at you. You want to get her stuff done so that you can feel like you have made an impression. Just kidding. Stephanie Stitches, for those who don't know, Stephanie Stitches is literally one of the nicest humans I've ever met before. And we should all aspire to be as wonderfully nice as her. So don't take my sarcasm as any sort of truth. Sometimes I forget that y'all don't actually like know me and know that busting you is my love language. And yeah. If I actually had a feeling about you one way or the other, I would never say it live or in mixed company. Get fabric out of the way. Oh yeah, very well covered. Lots of extras. Oh, did Susan say anything? Oh, Susan. Okay, there we go. Oh, Susan, I'm actually in Frederick, Maryland. So I am an East Coaster, not at all close to the Eastern Shore, but East Coast state. Where are you joining us from? Yeah, Stephanie's top notch. All right. So yeah, see, that's the extra we have of sour apple. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trim that off and put the sticker back on it to be added to my scraps of quickly growing collection of Kona salad scraps. Ooh, West Coast, very cool. All right. So that is it for sour apple for month 2. So that is how much, for those of you that haven't gotten it or haven't started cutting into it, this is how much I have left of sour apple. Again, I do it generously, but if you're new, you want to keep this in mind that this is what's left with sour apple after 3 pieces. So this is the layout of cutting instructions for sour apple. So after 3 pieces, that's what I have left. So I want you to keep that in mind. If you watch this later, or you come back to it when you finally get yours, because U.S. Postal Service is frustrating right now. You've got that bit left over. And then I think we were done with kiwi too. This is what I had left over of kiwi. So just keep that in mind. If you're nervous about cutting, very new, or you like to be very precise, I would definitely say cut your fabrics all first. Cut the biggest pieces out of each individual fabric out first, of each fabric, and then you should be good to go. All right. So I'm going to put those little bits left. And next up is our chartreuse. All right. Back up to the sun. Let's see how this guy, like this? Yeah, like this. Let's see how he's gonna fit in here. I've got the selvage over here to remember that I don't want to end up in my seam allowance. I'm totally fine with selvage. I don't want it to end up inside my pretty section. So you want to make sure you're keeping aware of that. Again, the greens have gotten too dark to really see the fabric behind it. So I'm doing the touch test to make sure I'm covering all the way around, and I am. I feel very comfortable and good about that. So I'm gonna roll the feed dogs down, flip the paper over, and then, yep. Yeah, those cut guides are really really helpful, very much appreciated that they take the time to do that. The testers for these things, for all the legit kits. In my experience, I was a tester for Sail Away, and the conversations that we had about, you know, where it was getting tight on fabric, or, oh, this block was misnumbered, or any of that sort of stuff. Testers took this stuff really seriously and were really good about sharing information. And then adjustments, and then Legit Kits is really good about making adjustments based on their testers' input, so that by the time it gets to us, there should be very, very few, if any, things that weren't talked about. Right, I got a quarter. Excellent. Moving right along. So this is piece 4, is our lime. Just collecting all of my, unless it's a really, really tiny piece, like the little tiny sliver like this, I will generally like keep my scraps together and go through and see, do I foresee a piece being this size somewhere in the future? And then I will decide, do I really get rid of it, or do I hold on to it from my cuttings? Let me take a look at the whole quilt again. Let's see, are we moving out of greens next month? Or are we still in the land of greens? Oh yeah, Ingrid, thank you for doing that. You're a pattern tester for a quilt designer in Western. Oh, very cool. I was very excited. It was a fantastic experience. Everybody was really helpful and talked about all of the, you know, the things that they were doing and how they would do it, like how they organize their things and how they cut theirs. And then we had, you know, like really experienced people in the test group, like Cranky Kangaroo and Linda for Dogs, Boozy Quilter. Like we had some very accomplished testers and ambassadors of Legit Kits. It was such a good experience, so much fun. All right, so there we go. Now on to piece 4, our lime. Fold it over, pull the paper out of that seam allowance. And you all may not find this hard to believe at all, but when I am at home and I'm at home right now, but when I'm doing this alone, I talk to myself this much. I'm saying all of this to myself out loud every single time. So you're just getting a glimpse of my everyday. All So let's make sure that I've got this angled correctly. I feel like we might, oh, no. Yep, the touch test where the paper is to where the fabric is on the other side. We are good to go. Definitely covered on the angle here. All right. Found the thing I really liked about the legit kits was that you were assigned a certain number of blocks. So like those were the ones that you were focused on. So you didn't have to feel, as a first time tester, I didn't feel overwhelmed of, oh my gosh, I have to speed sew this because I'm a habitual starter. I will get distracted by the next shiny thing. I also then started setting up my YouTube page, like stuff was happening. And all I had to do was focus on originally 4, but then we ended up getting to pick a 5th one, a couple of us. So it was, I think, a lot less stressful than trying to be a test quilter for like an entire quilt top. With it being my first time, I feel really good about like the way they had it planned. I'm sure like the whole like test the whole quilt thing is totally fine, but for me, like it being the first time, I was very thankful. You were just talking to that's funny. I like that. I just got a warning, the stream's bit rate is lower. So if something happens because Frederick is held hostage by Comcast, I apologize. Hopefully it'll stay holding on strong. Yeah, hopefully. I certainly have enough cats and dogs in the house to totally be able to say that they were who I was talking to. So there is that. I do have that. Yep. Yeah, Fallon, I'm right there with you on that. Absolutely. I was giving myself heart palpitations for, I was helping a school play, and I put together quilts, put together kilts for the kids, and I had plenty of time. I finished in plenty of time, but I was freaking out because like that deadline, like these are kids that have to wear it on stage. Like I can't not be done. I can't not finish it for them. Oh, the stress. Oh, when you're flipping these pieces over, the same holds true for FPP as traditional piecing. A lot of this is biased edges, so just be very careful when you're ironing. I am an aggressive ironer. I'm a recovering aggressive ironer, trying not to be quite so insane about pressing the fabrics back. I'm trying to remember to just press, not iron, but I like to make sure that my seams are really flat, and the more aggressive I iron it back, the flatter it seems to be. So I'm trying to get over that. Yeah, the kilts really worked out really well. But just remember that you are, kind of cutting these in weird angles and stuff. So be careful not to pull them out of shape as you're ironing and as you're sewing them up. And not be able to make any more. Well, I don't know. The power of knowing that an entire cast of kids is counting on you was absolutely incentive. It definitely kept my booty in gear to get them done. It was a lot of fun and super rewarding. The most adorable thing in the world. And I got to go see the play and see them wearing them so proudly and very excited, and it was a lot of fun. I wouldn't sign up for every play to do it because sizing things and making sure that it's going to fit the human body is another stress pain point that I don't think I'm going to take on all the time. But I'll definitely do it again for next year. At one of the plays, at least. Yep. You say it, Susan. I think it, but my body says, make those seams super flat. And then I end up like, just insane. Much better now. Much better than I used to be, where you could like see the thread I was using in every seam because I was so aggressively ironing the pieces back. But next block to trim up. So I already did the top to get all of the sour apple that we were going to need. I still want to call it sassafras or sarsaparilla. That'd be fun too. Hi, Jean. Oh yeah, they had their little after party bit. I was laying down thinking I'm gonna be going to sleep, and they had their little after party, and I was like, whoa, now I can't go to sleep. I want to say hi to everybody. And I just ordered the 2 charm pack, 2 at a time charm pack, 2 charm packs at a time book. Gonna need to make sure I know the title of that. And they were doing charm packs. Yeah, the starch pen on the seams is amazing. When I started doing that is when my aggressive ironing started rolling back. I didn't feel the need to do it so very, very crazily. All right, there we go. Next block done. A4 is complete. A4. Oh, snap. Oh, Marla, you're so right. Oh my gosh, Nightbot. I totally forgot that Nightbot's on here. And Nightbot got mad at Marla. And Nightbot said, I'm not scared. I'm not scared of you. Marla, you are absolutely right, and I apologize. And I'm so sad that Nightbot got mad at you. but I'm taking it as my warning too. Ugh. I totally forgot Nightbot's on. Nightbot is it's like a moderator helper. So if you do like exclamation mark commands, so all together, like exclamation mark and it can all be lowercase. It will show you all the commands I have. Like if you do exclamation mark Stephanie, it'll link you to Stephanie's page, and exclamation mark Sean will take you to the guy who sews page. And I haven't really delved too deep into it because I just kind of kept it like out of the box basic. So I'm still like watching other people's channels to see the things that they do. Like one lady does, is it Nightbot, or maybe they use Streamlabs. Maybe I'm not thinking about the right one. There's a couple of them, but there are more, exclamation mark things that it can do that I'm trying to like write down as I watch other people doing them. All right. What's the next? The next guy is B3A. I think I'm going to do B4 first though, because I don't have to like cut the papers. So we're gonna do that first. We have, oh, look at the little tiny, can you even see it? The little tiny human resources part. Chartreuse goes 2 times. So it's actually 3 colors across 4 different sections. So that's cool. All right, so I need lime again. Chartreuse again. And then KL, which is my key lime, which is a fun, bright one. All right, there we go. Look at cactus, that wee little block. I guess that's the only place it's being used is this one. Oh wow, the only place it's being used is this one section of B3A, and it's just this one little triangle way down here. So I think we're covered with cactus. I think we'll be good. That's cool. So I'm just going to keep that on that piece of paper. So I already got it set and ready to go. All right, we're moving right along, folks. I'm going to go ahead and get the pieces cut out of chartreuse that we need. And I want to take a look at, because chartreuse is the one that has the most pieces. So we did A4-3. So for B4, we need 6 and 7. These guys. And because I'm a rebel and I don't cut the way they say, my piece is looking far differently than what they had recommended, because I live on the wild side. Yeah, much different than what they have. Oh, good. So B3A is B4 rather, 6 and 7. I can keep up. So 6 is the bigger piece, which is on this block, the 3. So it's another right angle, which is exciting, which means I'm going to move this guy to see if I can utilize this right angle here. I'll move that sticker down and try to utilize that angle. And then the small little 7 piece, I could probably take off of this section here. So we'll see how that goes. But first I'm going to try to utilize Sly Arts. That was kind of funny. Was it Brody? Was it Brody that did it, or was it Tiancum that did it? I can't remember. It was funny. It was cute though. I liked it. Sly. All right, let's see. Yay for solid color where I could just flip it over and make it work for what I need it to do. So I'm just flipping it over. And I'm going to put my right corner, whoa, right in here. And then right. So I'm going to get my card. Oh man, did it make Marla like disappear? Did it put her on timeout? I'm really gonna have to, if it's doing that to people, I'm gonna have to really learn more about what Nightbot demands. I can't be having it just willy-nilly smacking my people down. Over there. And then it was Brody. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Yep. And keep it healthy down here. There we go. Oh, look at this weird little sliver. Maybe I will take, okay, so that's piece 3. Put that up here. I think I will take the little weird hunk of chartreuse for this piece. I'm just going to take it out of this like long leftover piece. So that's 4. So we end the block with chartreuse. All right. And since I have it here, I'm going to go ahead and mark those off. Boom. 6 and 7 done. So then it's just block, the last block in 3 pieces that we'll need from chartreuse, which is all right. That works out. Nobody puts Marla in the corner, right? Okay, good, Marla, you're here. I'm really sorry. I need to learn what angers and what doesn't anger Nightbot, and like maybe set it up to not be quite so militant, because I was not expecting that. Oh, I love the New York Beauties. Susan, have you seen the Quilting Marine? Right, Quilting Marine. He loves a New York Beauty, and he's done some really cool videos on them. If you know, I mean, you sound like you probably know what you're doing, but if you wanted to see someone else doing it, he's pretty cool. He's done a couple of them. I know they got a couple of popular books out there for New York Beauties. I love the New York Beauties. I love the ray, like the sun rays, but when they work in flying geese in an arc, are you kidding me? I love that. That is so cool. Yeah, you have. Okay, cool. I like him. He's awesome. Oh, Nightbot's mad at me. I put it to work. It just wants some hot dogs and sparklers. Sorry, Nightbot. All right. So we're going to see what I can work out of key lime on here. A bit of an angle. we go. Probably need the sticks again. Ingrid, who you've seen on here, and Stephanie Stitches are going to spend some time with Quilting Marine. All right. I just want to make sure I'm not cutting anything underneath. Oh, how scary would that be if I cut into some other fabrics underneath? There we go. That's piece 2, so I'm going to keep that here. Oh yes, I want to do a Judy Niemeyer too. I think that the Judy Niemeyer would be a really cool challenge because I don't know if you've seen Piecing It Real or the Yvette Renee on YouTube. She was doing a couple of them, and that seems like prime test your skills work. All right, let's see. Let me check out Lime. Oh, Lime only has 3 pieces. So, okay, so we've done the first. And for B4 is the biggest that we're going to need. So, okay, so I feel good with B3B is the smallest of the 3. So, or well, it's smaller than this is going to be. So I feel good about where we're at with the amount of fabric we have. That I'm going to put out of the way so I don't accidentally cut into it. And then turn this way so I can get my right angle. And I'm not going to worry about this teeny tiny little chartreuse piece. I'm just going to cut straight because it's so small. I'm comfortable with that being trimmed off later to make it easy and not fiddly. There we go. Jean, I'm also East Coast. I'm in Maryland, just up the coast from you. And it is Ingrid and Stephanie Stitch's fault that I was up so late. At least that's the story I'm gonna keep too. It was all their fault. They had me my arm twisted behind my back the entire time, kicking and screaming about being up so late. Pretty sure not a single person believes a word I'm saying. Yeah, the Quilts of Valor cruise. How awesome is that? It's gonna be such a good time. And I'm jealous, but not jealous enough to get over my fear of flying. So it is what it is. How are we on time, folks? Let's see. Oof. I'm pushing it. So I might get this pinned and may do a wrap up, and I will post pictures in the community tab and in my Instagram. And Instagram automatically feeds my Facebook. So if you're already on Instagram, don't worry about being on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you're not missing anything by not being on Instagram because they are the same. they feed each other. So yeah, I will finish up the other 2 blocks and get that posted. I'm really excited to have been able to show you how to put a pieced block with it, a piece within the block together. Really, really excited to have been able to show you that. But I do want to be respectful of your holiday weekend, and keep it to the 2 hours. I'm finding that because I am a slower stitcher, which I have no, I'm not sad about that. I sew the way I sew, and that's the way it's going to be. You guys just have to get used to it. I may end up making legit kits block of the month Sundays, a 1 to 4 thing, and then like end early if I get through the blocks, within the amount of time. But I feel bad that because I am not a super zippy sewer, that I don't get to show everything in the video. So I think I might do that. I know it makes for a longer video, but you guys, of course, have always welcome to pop in and out. And then, come back and you can put me on pause and work stuff up and then, hit play again. But I don't like that. I don't feel like I'm not completing it, and I don't like not showing you the completed work during the live each time, from start to finish. So I think I might do that. The months that have the 8 blocks, I think I might make that a 2 weekend event. 4 blocks on the one Sunday, the next 4 blocks on the second Sunday, because that's a lot of time. But I really don't like that I'm not able to show you all the way through. Oh, good, Katie. That makes me feel good. I'm not like, I am kind of OCD about how I'm sewing and everything, and so that makes me a little slower. I like to press the way I like to press, and I like to make sure I'm using the pen. So I'm just always going to be a little bit behind, which I'm okay with. And I'm glad that it helps you out too. That makes me feel good. Susan, the Yakima Valley Quilt Guild show last year. Wow, 12 different. Holy cow. That's amazing. 12 Judy Niemeyers. Y'all got a talented bunch of folks out there. That's incredible. Wow. That's awesome. Hi, Chloe. Oh, Ingrid. You don't think that I couldn't do it. I could totally sit here and chitty chat with everybody for 12 hours and get it done. That's a dedicated day though. And boy, that'd be a lot. Hi, Chloe. Welcome. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. Let us know where you're from. Chloe's an important name in the family. I like the name. Oh, a great name, folks out there. But yeah, it's the holiday weekend, so for sure this Sunday I'm gonna be respectful and keep it to the 2 hours. But we'll play around. I'm still working out, technical kinks. I would like to be able to schedule and have it, have the schedule. But in lieu of that, I'm going to start in my community tab, giving you a timeline, like a schedule of what I'm going to be doing each week, so that you all know what's coming, and can follow along. One of the I'll get all these technical things taken care of. Oh, cool, Rhode Island. We have family that's from Newport. A lot of them are living in Barrington now, but I very much enjoyed being up in Rhode Island. Welcome. All right, so with that, I think it is just now 3 o'clock. So I am going to go ahead and say goodbye. Yeah, Ingrid does have a couple. That's exciting. One of these days. First, I want to do my Pride and Joy lion. That's the goal after Sail Away is done. All right, everybody, have a fantastic holiday weekend. Have a safe one. And then be on the lookout Thursday morning. I'll have my podcast put up of what I've done this past week and what I've planned to do the following week. And, you know, insight into insanity that I'm planning and, you know, kind of tidbits of what I've been doing for the week. So that's Thursday mornings. And then this coming up Sunday will be regular Sunday brunch from 11 to 1 Eastern. But yeah. Yeah, Donna's in Southern Maryland. So a little bit, I'm up far, like almost in Pennsylvania, Maryland. So, yep. Yeah. Cool to have local YouTubers. Sorry, I get distracted. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll talk to everybody later and live next Sunday. All right. Thanks, everybody. Let's see.